So my grandma once told me a story. Me and my grandma were real close, and we spoke very candidly to each other. And she told me a story about my great aunt, who was very funny. She had a group of friends. They were like the Golden Girls, real funny old ladies. I can only imagine what they were like when they were younger. And so the story was related to my grandma from my great aunt about her and her friend group. They were real close, frisky old ladies. But this is when they were younger. One of the friends, their husband, went missing, and so they filed a missing persons report. And coroner calls them down to the city morgue to identify some identified bodies. So obviously, like some good friends showing support, they go down there. They're a little anxious, get down there, and much to their relief, they find that the John Doe, the unidentified man, is not her husband. But in the course of this, well, while they're in the coroner's office, one of the friends just kind of wanders off, looking around at all the different cadavers, and she raises the sheet from one man on his bottom half. And the coroner replied that this was another homeless man that came in that we have not identified. Lady, as she's looking underneath his exposed bottom, dead cadaver body, she says, "Oh no, this man wasn't homeless. He had a home somewhere. With what he has, obviously talking about his anatomy, he has a home somewhere." And so my grandma told me that story when I was a teenager, relaying to me and giving me a lesson. Remember, this is my grandmother. This is a saved, sanctified, holy woman. But she basically was giving me the lesson to tell me that there's no reason that a fit, in shape, good looking man with adequate equipment should be on the streets. My grandma told me this. She said you should always have a home somewhere. And she made some implications that no person really wants to hear, but it was funny talking about in reference to my grandpa, who has been long deceased at that point. And she made reference to, obviously, I guess, this is inappropriate, but obviously she made reference to that he was blessed. He had the equipment that a man would want. She said, if you're anything like your grandpa, and you're a good looking young man, and if you're anything like your grandpa, you should have a home somewhere. So that always stuck with me. That was always from that moment. That was always an ongoing joke with me and my grandma. A home somewhere, and so that's always stuck with me. And throughout the years, with my wife, couples, you banter back and forth, talk a little shit to each other, and I've always maintained the position that if push comes to shove, if I find myself out on the streets for some reason, as long as I can groom myself, maybe get a hold of some decent clothes and groom myself and clean myself, present myself well, and my favorite rapper was Pimp C. He said, if I go across country with this face and this mind, everything else will work out. And that's how I feel. If you look a certain way that's attractive to some women, if you got a little game, maybe not even any game, just maybe to hold a decent conversation, I would say. And even that's debatable. If you just look the part, you look good to a woman. A woman somewhere will take you in, and that's what this story brought to mind when I saw it. A homeless man in Atlanta gains widespread attention after posting online that he needs a place to stay, and over 1,000 women offered to help him. Okay, I don't see where he particularly asked for a free home, but um, lots of women offered to help him. And you look at the comments. There's a lot of back and forth. Some women talking about they would never, but obviously there's enough, and all it takes is one. All it really takes is one, and I'm pretty sure out of those 1,000 women, not all of them are single, live at home by themselves. I'm sure there's a portion of them that have kids at home, other relatives perhaps they're staying with them, loved ones that are staying with them, and yet they offered their home to this man, to this young man. So the question I have is, if this was a an attractive young woman, young lady, would this garner the same response from men? Would 1,000 men offer their home to a homeless young woman? I don't think so. Could be wrong. And again, there's lots of tricks and sugar daddies out there, and all it takes is one. But I don't think the response would be the same. But I could be wrong. What do y'all think? I want to know what y'all think. And two, is this done out of the kindness of their heart, or do you think most of these women just have lustful thoughts on their mind? They just want some in-house penis, and they know if they take this young man in and offer him resources, a place to stay, money, home cooked meal, and the way he compensates that is by humping his life away. Women know that. Nobody, there is no, there is nobody who humps harder than a desperate man, than a man who's humping for his for his for his livelihood, right? Basically, and women know that. There's some women who know that. So, do you think this is? Because I don't think if he was so called, I won't comment on his looks, but I'm pretty sure. Um, Obviously, this is based on how women think that he looks. They think he looks good. If he was not attractive to women, do you think he would gain the same response? Obviously, probably not, but we never know. So that's something to think about, something to talk about. Comment. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Like, share, subscribe, comment what y'all think. Peace and blessings.